As a software developer, sooner or later, you come across a scenario where you have some code or a process that needs to run on a schedule. The schedule might be every 5 or 10 minutes, once a day, once a week, and more. The way most people achieve this is to use a never-ending while loop. In the loop, they call the code or process that needs to run, then call the sleep function to stall the program for whatever amount of time until the process needs to happen again. This works to some extent, but it's definitely not the most efficient way. It can lead to resource consumption, it's difficult to test, and it's extremely unreliable. Here are better ways of achieving the same results. These methods require you to view the task or processes as events. You can then apply event-based architectures that are way more reliable. The first way is to use a dedicated scheduling library or a package available within the language you're working with. For example, Python has a library called Celery that can be used to schedule tasks periodically. Under the hood, it uses threads and other mechanisms that make it much more reliable and efficient. It's also easier to test and monitor. The second way is to use a cron job. Cron jobs are schedulers used to run tasks periodically. They are available on Unix-based computers and run on the OS level, making them more reliable. All you have to do is configure how often you want the process to run using the proper syntax, then add the location of the file or script you want to run. The operating system will handle the rest. You can also set it up to capture persistent logs after each run. The third way is to modify your code into an API that can be called by an external system. For example, Make.com has a scheduler task that can be set to call an API at specific time intervals. You can also use a cloud scheduler from Google Cloud, AWS, or Azure. The final way is to deploy your code to a time-triggered cloud service like Azure Functions or AWS Lambdas. You simply deploy your code to the service and set the interval in the config. Under the hood, most of the schedulers and time-triggered cloud services use the cron jobs we just discussed. They are very reliable and work pretty well. Follow Uma Coles for more coding tips like this.